Hello everyone, welcome to a video where I'll show you or explain a very common error, which is when we use n8n, our ChatGPT model starts using one resource after another, item after item, okay? And in the end it's processing maybe 100 items and we don't really understand why it just processed 100 items. We've just spent $1 or $2 or more on our API, right? And it still hasn't finished generating the message we want, okay? Well, this happens for a simple reason, which is, first of all, we need to set limits, okay? Within ChatGPT itself, there are options, right? Like maximum number of tokens, format, and so on. What if this keeps happening even after setting these limits? What's really going on? Well, what's happening, for example, in this workspace, which is where it happened to me, we have this section where we get the information, right, in rows. And based on that info, we'll generate a message to send in an email. Okay, so what happens? This loop does the following. Hey, you make a row, right? You generate it and return it, and once it's done, you send the message, then move to the next row, and so on. And this way, the model goes one by one. What happens? If instead of doing that, we put the loop before extracting the information, right? If we put it here, what's going to happen, okay? Let's set it up like this. There it is. What's going to happen is that all the information will be extracted. Of course, what the loop will do is work with based on the data it already has, okay? Since there's no data, it's simply going to extract all the information, get all the data, and ChatGPT, instead of processing line by line, which is what this loop is responsible for, also diversifying and processing the files line by line. As this loop doesn't have any lines to read because we haven't extracted the information yet, it's going to extract all the information at once, and ChatGPT will start generating text for each line, and it's going to take forever, okay? Instead of going one by one, it'll try to do them all at once, which isn't the best, to put it mildly, okay? So, use the loop over items, which ultimately has another name called splitting batches, which is really what we want, to divide it into zones, okay? So, well, that's the advice, and it's very, very important to use it correctly.